Alrighty, welcome to the Greenpill.network podcast. If you're just joining us, we are building a coordination, a network society of thousands of hackers, dreamers, and doers focused on using crypto to bring positive sum digital systems to the world. This podcast features the people who are doing it and is published up until this week, every Tuesday and Thursday. If you want to learn more, visit our website at the Greenpill.network, where you can download the Greenpill book for free, join the Discord, and become a member of your local Greenpill.network chapter. I do not have a guest this week. This week is going to be a housekeeping episode in which I announce some changes that are going to happen to the podcast and to Greenpill.network. So basically, Greenpill.network started in 2022, in which I published this self-published book that was all about how crypto could be used to build positive sum digital systems in the world. You can get the book at Greenpill.network. After the book was launched, we launched the Greenpill podcast, a podcast dedicated to regenerative crypto economics. And thanks to the generous partnership of Bankless, we're able to pull together an audience between 2,000 and 8,000 listeners per episode. So it's been a great little resource for me to create common little pockets of knowledge about technical concepts like cluster mapping or coordination mechanisms or Sybil resistance, but also advanced cultural movements like SolarPunk, DAOs, network states, Web3 in the global sense, and have been lucky enough to have industry luminaries like Vitalik Buterin, Karl Floersch, Nadia Asparouhova, and others on the podcast. Some of those people have been on multiple times and have done 155 episodes. And I'm just really proud of the body of work that we've created and the cultural movement that we're a part of. It still feels very in choate, but it feels like it's blossoming in a lot of different ways. V2 of Greenpill launched in 2023. So basically, that's when Greenpill became Greenpill.network. So basically, using the podcast and the book as an attractor, which basically means something that attracts people to a specific type of behavior. And now we're kind of collating everyone into a Discord and building what I call a coordination, basically a network society that exports regenerative digital infrastructure to the world. We recruited Sejal Rekan as a community manager and operational lead for the Greenpill Network, and now we have 13 active chapters in places as diverse as New York City, Nigeria, Turkey, China, India. These people are all running local meetups and building momentum in their own local communities. My vision here is that each local community member has the global context and a view of what the global mechanisms that are available out there for, but also has the local legitimacy, networks, and relationships in their local community to make this actually happen in their local community. So basically thinking globally and acting locally and deploying some of this software in our local communities, whether that is local community currencies or quadratic funding or retroactive public goods funding or mutualistic credit systems. I think there's a lot of opportunity to practice this stuff on a local level. So basically a combination of local bottoms-up movement building and using this network combining with Gitcoin's tools and other tools, we can build a better network of impact funding. So I think that like in broad strokes, if V1 was the podcast and the book and it was very theoretical and mimetic, V2 is very local, grounds up and bottoms or up oriented, but still keeping that cross-pollination of the ideas from V1 and V2. So Greenpill.network is now, I am announcing V3 of the Greenpill.network. So basically 2022 was V1, 2023 was V2, and now we're just evolving in a couple of different directions. The first change is that we're going to be spinning the podcast out of Bankless at the end of October. So I'm very thankful to Bankless and especially David and the team over there that have helped us put together this body of work, 155 episodes-ish about Regen Web3. And just very thankful that they'll be letting us take the audience, with us. I've hired a new independent podcast editor to continue producing and distributing the podcast. And we will be moving forward with the podcast, but I just don't have the cycles with my return to Gitcoin to be doing it 2 times a week anymore. So I'm thinking about moving to this cadence where we're going to drop 5 to 10 episodes per quarter all at once. And you can kind of like, when a streaming service drops a new series of your favorite episodes, you can binge them all at once. And, maybe if I'm especially organized, they'll be on thematic things. Like I would love to do 5 to 10 episodes on the global South and just what's going on outside of America and Europe for crypto. I would love to do episodes about novel public goods funding or impact DAOs and just batch them up and drop them at the same time. And so anything that you've seen a theme from me could be a thematic episode drop that we'll do in the future. But do not expect that this podcast will be in your feed every Tuesday and Thursday in the future. That was something that I think I was only able to sustain while I was outside of Gitcoin. And now that I'm back at Gitcoin, I'm up to my nose in other priorities. So I've been fairly absentee at the Greenpill.network Discord and community lately with my return to Gitcoin. And I want to own this in some sense. I think it's been an opportunity for me to pass the torch to people who are stepping up in the Greenpill.network community to lead that network. When I was leaning in at Gitcoin, I'm leaning out at Greenpill. And when I'm leaning in at Greenpill, I'm leaning out at Gitcoin, and vice versa, because like both networks are kind of ebbing and flowing together in this really interesting way. I see lots of synergies between the Greenpill network and Gitcoin, but I also think it's a feature, not a bug, that I'm not at the center of either network. The Greenpill.network is, from the beginning, I didn't want it to be a hub and spoke with me in the center of it. I wanted it to be a many-to-many relationships between the people who are in the network. And so if you join the Discord, you'll see what I mean. There's lots of different chapter leads and people who are training to be Gitcoin round managers, people who are publishing a V2 of the Greenpill book, CNTM, that you can get involved with if you join the Discord. The link's at Greenpill.network if you want to join. So basically, I am going to be leaning out a little bit at the Greenpill network, but the Discord is still very active. The communities are very active. And I'm looking for ways to decentralize what my presence would have done at the Greenpill network to the community. So basically, there's going to be lots of different opportunities coming up in Q4 and Q1 on the Discord. So basically, there'll be opportunities to join and lead local chapters. There's about 15 local chapters right now. And if you join the Discord, you can see how to join one or to lead a local chapter. We'll be running a Gitcoin round for the Greenpill network soon. So basically, you can join the #GreenpillQF round channel on the Discord if you want to learn more, basically rewarding the people who are doing local impact in their chapters. And there's this beautiful flow of funding from the main Gitcoin rounds into the Greenpill.network chapters, and then they're practicing regeneration locally. And so it's almost, I mean, if they decide to do QF locally, then we're going to have QF into QF into QF. It'll be like QF all the way down modular. And so I think I'm excited to see what happens there. And if we're successful, then the people who are onboarded into crypto next cycle will be onboarded by earning money for having impact in their local community, as opposed to buying a JPEG or buying a bag. And that's a vision I wanted to actualize for a while. We're going to be onboarding Greenpill citizens to run quadratic funding rounds on Gitcoin. So now that Gitcoin has GrantStack and has a credibly neutral protocol / app that anyone can run QF rounds, we're going to be training up people how to run QF rounds in their local communities. And I mean both geographically local, like I'm here in Boulder, Colorado, but I also mean mimetically local. I'm the member of Ultimate Frisbee Discord groups and DAO Discord groups and Discord groups for people who want to solve civil resistance. And so what would it look like if we taught people to fish, if we taught people how to run QF rounds, and they could run small QF rounds in their local community and move from theorizing about regeneration to actually practicing it locally. So there'll be opportunities for you to join that. Join Greenpill V2 round operators on the Discord if you want to learn more. We will be writing local regen guides to cross-pollinate regen thinking and skills across chapters. So basically, the goal is to get these done by December 2024. If you join the Greenpill local regen chapter channel on Discord, you'll see what I mean. And you may even get an early copy of the Greenpill local regen guides and all the beautiful stuff that's happening within them. So I'm really excited about these. I think that this is kind of like the Greenpill book V2, and I'm really particularly proud that it's produced in a decentralized way, essays from many different amazing members of the Greenpill community, not just from me. And I think that speaks to the decentralization and the movement that we're creating around regenerative culture. Speaking of decentralization, I'm considering decentralizing my podcast hosting duties, which will allow us to produce interesting contents from more corners of the Regen Web3 ecosystem, and also to take the burden of podcast production a little bit off of me. I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. I think there's a certain respect for the audience that I have of the Greenpill podcast, where I'll never produce something that I don't listen to myself. And I want to have a certain quality bar of the guests that I add and the co-hosts that I add to the podcast. And so we're going to have to figure out how to decentralize it, but still curate the content. And, maybe there'll be many Green Pill podcasts and I'll just roll up the best episodes to this podcast. But expect to see a new suite of co-hosts and people producing the podcast when I do start dropping more episodes soon. So join Green Pill Decentralizing Podcast on the Green Pill Discord if you want to learn more. And as I'm wrapping, I just want to say many thanks to Sejal, who's been helping out with the transition. And, if you're ever looking for wayfinding in the Green Pill network, say hi to Sejal on the Discord and just ask her what where things are and where you can pitch in. And I also want to just say thanks to Bankless for editing, being the back office behind this podcast for the last little while. It really means a lot to me that you wanted to support the regen movement by siphoning off a little bit of your audience and pointing them in a little regen direction. So it's been a special journey for me to be partnered with Green Pill and Bankless. But, I'm also excited about the independent horizon of what we're going to be doing in the future. So basically, Green Pill podcast is not ending. We are going to be evolving in the future. After this episode, you will not see any episodes for at least a couple of weeks from me on the feed. But I think that once I get the itch again, once we get through Gitcoin Grants round 19 and I'm feeling like my head's above water with other priorities, we'll be producing more episodes from there. So that's it. Thanks for listening. I will see you on the internet. Peace.